segment of Community in Focus is sponsored by BHG Realty Madisonville.
Well, with mortgage interest rates dropping, many homeowners are once again thinking about putting their homes on the market. Joining me for today's Community in Focus, we have Josh Parish from BHG Realty. Thanks for joining us again, Josh.
Thank you for having me again. I appreciate that.
Now, with interest rates starting to drop off or starting to, well, they've gone down a little bit, have you seen an increase in people wanting to put their homes up for sale?
So we have seen a slight increase. At the beginning of summer, I think the interest rates, conventional style loans, were higher sixes, touching the sevens a little bit at the beginning of summer. Now the conventional loans are more so mid sixes. FHA type loans, they are lower sixes, so it definitely does help. Still been, you know, pretty steady, but I think it's going to take more so into the fives, you know, before we start seeing that drastic, that drastic movement. Now, I mean, I don't think we'll see the COVID type changes, you know, for a while, but once we get in the fives, I think that's going to be a big difference.
Now, with the interest rate shifting a little bit downward, has that impacted home prices?
The home prices has actually still been pretty steady from the market analysis that I looked at earlier in the week. Now, one thing that has happened is in my market, one of the more popular loan programs is USDA. Well, the government shut down. So when the government shut down, it's pretty well halted. And the reason why people like USDA is because there is that 0% down payment or 100% financing. I talked to a lender buddy of mine earlier, and he told me the day before the shutdown, he had put in for loan approval, which usually should take no more than 3 days, and we're 16 days in, and he still don't have an approval. So that's kind of slowed things down.
Oh, yeah, and you don't really think about that unless like you're kind of in that process or have been in that process before.
Yeah.
Now, for people who, let's say they are looking to get their home ready for the market, possibly before, you know, the weather starts to get a little bit cooler. What's some advice that you have for them on how what they need to do to get their home ready?
So one of the number one thing I always tell anybody that's selling their home, especially if they're still living in their home, is declutter. And that don't mean your house is a mess or anything like that. But if you have a lot of decorations on the wall or different things like that, sometimes it's best to remove some of those things. If you've got some furniture and stuff that you're not using and you want to take it and put it out in the garage, a little bit out of sight, out of mind, what that does, it opens up your house. It makes it feel bigger. The buyers are going to come in and they're going to be able to see more of the home. And it's, like I said, it makes it feel a little bit bigger, and they get to see a little bit more of it. So that's one of the main things that I tell people is just declutter, you know, keep it clean, keep it show ready on the inside.
Now, last question before we go, are there, you know, you're talking about inside decluttering. What about the outside? I mean, do people need to invest in their exterior to get it ready? I mean, do you normally advise your sellers to do that?
I do, and in some of them, they already have, you know, beautiful landscaping and different things like that, but first impressions are everything. When you pull into the driveway, the outside's the first thing that you see.
Right.
So if you can freshen up the mulch, or if you know, add some evergreens, or you know, in the fall, throw out some mums and give it a little bit of color. Pressure wash the house, you know, some things like that, and keep your yard maintained and keep it good and trimmed. The first impressions are everything when you pull up to a home. And buyers, when they come up, they want to see that home has been taken care of. So those few things right there, curb appeal is very, very important.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Josh. You can find more information about him on our website, especially if you are looking to get your home ready to sell or you are looking to buy. But for now, we are going to send things over to Griffin Hardy for a check of your forecast.